Hey everyone, I'm Sison, and today we're doing a first look at Sony's new trio of prime lenses that they just brought out for the Sony E-mount system. Alright, so if you haven't already heard, Sony have brought out 3 prime lenses for the E-mount system. They're made for full frame, although can be used on APS-C as well, but they range from the 24mm f2.8, the 40mm f2.5 and the 50mm f2.5. All of them very small and compact, making it easier to take around with you. And not only that, they're fully featured with external controls. So you've got focus hold button, you've got a focus switch, a D-click option, and as well as an aperturing, and of course, weather sealing, which is going to be great for different types of conditions. I will be doing a full review on them. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more Sony videos. I'll also be doing more videos on other brands as well, but also hit that notification bell to let you know when I upload a new video. Now without further ado, let's continue with what these lenses have to offer. Alright, so as you can see, I have all 3 lenses here, the 24, the 40, and the 50mm right here. So as you can see, all the same sort of design. The only difference really is the lens hood. There's sort of like a small barrel type lens hood on the 24mm, whereas the 40 and the 50 have a lens hood that's slightly different, very similar to the 35mm f2.8 Zeiss, which is shaped like that. So you can still put a filter on these ones. So this one takes a 49, but if you prefer not to use a lens hood and a filter here instead, it is 49 there as well. So you don't have to have different size filters if you prefer. And while we're here, they all take 49mm filters, which is a good sign, so you don't have to change them up if you do intend to get all 3 of these lenses, or maybe just 2 of them or 1. But I'm just going to, just for the demonstration's sake, because they are all very similar in terms of the design, I'm going to show you the 24mm. So as you can see, it is very small, very compact, and you can see that there is a focus switch here to change from autofocus to manual focus, as well as a focus hold button, which can be customized in the menu system of your camera. Over here you do have the aperture ring. So the 24mm goes down to f2.8 and all the way to f22. Switching it to A essentially means that you can control the aperture through the camera body instead. That's just personal preference for anyone that wants to change it instead on the camera body instead of the lens. And if you're a video shooter or just someone that prefers not to use the clicking sound, you can turn it on and off as well. So turning it on, you can hear the change of aperture, but if you turn it off, it's a nice smooth change from there. And of course you do have a focus ring as well, which is fairly nice and smooth. Taking a look under here, there are rubber seals, which is going to be great for anyone that shoots in adverse conditions, and that's very much the same design as the 40 and the 50mm lenses as well. So all very good in terms of the build and design and features. Let me also add, there is no stabilization within any of these lenses, so you are relying on in-body stabilization of the camera body, but that's just if the camera that you're using actually has it. Just to give you a quick difference in focal lengths, here are 3 different photos I took of my hot crossed bun. Now let's talk about these lenses individually, starting with the 24mm f2.8. It weighs only 162 grams, has 3 aspherical elements and 1 extra low dispersion glass element. Has 7 diaphragm blades and has 2 linear motors with its minimum focusing distance at 24cm in autofocus mode and 18cm in manual focus. This is the widest of the trio of lenses that Sony has released and looks like it would be great for anyone who wants to capture vast landscapes. Okay, let's do a quick video. So currently using the Sony 24mm f2.8 on the Sony A7C. So you can see if you're using this for vlogging, it's reasonably wide enough to capture not only yourself in the frame, but a whole lot of everything else as well, like your landscapes or whatever you want to film as well. The lens is quite sharp, even wide open at f2.8 in the centers, and tends to fall slightly toward the edges. Bokeh is relatively smooth, but that is subject to my personal taste, and I did notice a bit of chromatic aberration, but not too much to make it a deal breaker. Focusing is quick, but not the fastest, but it is reliable and silent. There was also a bit of focus breathing too. If you are someone looking to use this on a gimbal, much like the 40mm and 50mm lenses that came out with this lens, you shouldn't have too much of an issue calibrating it. Moving on to the 40mm f2.5, a new focal length for Sony in the E-mount range that other manufacturers have ventured into. It weighs 173 grams and has 3 aspherical elements, has 7 diaphragm blades and 2 linear motors, has a minimum focusing distance of 28 centimeters in AF and 25 centimeters in MF. This is my favorite lens of the bunch, as it's not too wide and just the right focal length and can get reasonably close to my subject. The tracking on this lens did a pretty good job from what I've seen with it, with smooth and quiet continuous AF when it comes to video. There was also some focus breathing, but for stills it's sharp in the centers and shows some vignetting and some chromatic aberration wide open. Bokeh on this lens is appealing to me, and that f2.5 aperture makes it a good option for low light situations. Finally, the 50mm f2.5 weighs at 174 grams, has 2 aspherical elements, 1 extra low dispersion glass, and has 7 diaphragm blades and 2 linear motors. Its minimum focusing distance is 35 centimeters with autofocus and 31 centimeters in manual. There are now 4 different types of 50mm lenses in Sony's lineup, adding more options and possibly some confusion for buyers. While I will delve into the 50mm lineup in a later video, this classic focal length may be a good option for photographers who want a somewhat featured 50mm. However, the light gathering capabilities lacks compared to Sony's cheaper 50mm f1.8 and distant cousin with the Zeiss 55mm f1.8. With that being said, it's still pretty sharp for what it is, and while I didn't see any distortion with the photos that I took with this lens, there was some vignetting wide open, which can be corrected in post. Focusing is also quick, snappy, and quiet. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the first look on the Sony prime lenses, the 24, the 40, and the 50mm lenses. I will be doing a full review like I said earlier, so if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to let you know when I upload a new video. But to my first impressions, I really do love the build of it. I love how they're fully featured, and they're just going to be a perfect match for anyone that has an A7C, because A7C is already a small full frame camera at the moment, but having these sort of lenses on it just makes it a lot more portable instead of having to bring a large prime lens with you, like maybe a 50mm f1.2 G master. So like you can always bring another 50mm like this, and it just makes things a lot easier. These are fairly light but feel solid as well. Like I said, they're fully featured. The only thing that would probably make some people hesitate with getting these lenses is that they're pretty expensive compared to the competition. So like in Australia, these are $9.99 recommended retail price. So if you shop around, you could get it cheaper. That's about it for me. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you already own one or are planning to own one, let me know what you're gonna get, and remember to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to my channel for more Sony lens reviews and tutorials. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more sample photos and photo updates. And don't forget to take a look in the description down below for more information about these lenses, as well as affiliate links that do support the channel. Until then, happy shooting and thanks for watching.